Ever notice how school taught you the Pythagorean theorem, but nobody explained how to handle an awkward conversation with your boss? Or why your brain forgets things faster than you forget to reply to that one group chat message? Strange, right? We spend years memorizing stuff we barely use, while the skills that actually make life smoother, we're left to figure out on our own. Today, we're uncovering those hidden lessons, the things we never learned but desperately needed. And trust me, they're way more useful than any formula you memorized for a pop quiz. Let's be real for a second. Life often feels like you're running a marathon, but someone forgot to tell you where the finish line is. You've tried all the adulting hacks, planners, productivity apps, motivational quotes, even that weird deep breathing trick from TikTok that made zero sense. But somehow, it's still a mess. You procrastinate on things that matter, forget birthdays, lose your keys, and then spend half your day overthinking that one awkward moment from years ago. Meanwhile, other people, your coworkers, friends, that one neighbor who somehow looks both healthy and happy, seem to have it all together. And you're left thinking, wait, am I the only one who's still figuring this out? You might have tried following all the classic advice. Wake up early, drink green tea, visualize success, make a bullet journal. Sounds great, right? Except life happens. Your alarm fails, your cat jumps on your laptop, or your brain decides it's not in the mood. Suddenly, all that discipline advice feels like a cruel joke. And here's the kicker. It's not that you're lazy or broken. You're just missing the lessons nobody taught you. The stuff that actually makes a difference when life gets messy. The skills that help you think clearly, remember what matters, manage stress, and get stuff done without spiraling into chaos. By the end of this video, you're going to realize that most of the problems you've been struggling with aren't because you lack willpower. They're because you never learned how to hack life in the first place. And trust me, it's simpler than you think. Here's the problem most of us run into. We think life can be fixed with more effort, more rules, and a strict, just try harder attitude. Classic mistake. We treat our brains like lazy employees who just need to be bossed around. Except our brains don't respond to yelling. Take productivity, for example. Everyone says, just wake up early, make a perfect schedule, and follow it every day. Sure, except life doesn't follow schedules. Surprise Zoom calls, spilled coffee, your cat deciding your keyboard is the perfect nap spot. Suddenly, your perfect system is a disaster, and you feel like a failure. Or personal growth. People say, think positive, visualize your success, and crush your goals. Sounds nice in theory, but positivity without context is like putting glitter on a flat tire. Sure, it looks fun for a second, but you're still not going anywhere. Memory tips are another trap. Repeat it 7 times. Visualize a memory palace. Brilliant. Except most of us end up with a memory palace that looks like a messy dorm room filled with pizza boxes, laundry, and half-empty energy drink cans. Congratulations, you just memorized chaos. The biggest mistake? Believing that more effort equals better results. It doesn't. Trying harder without the right approach is like shoveling snow during a blizzard with a teaspoon. You'll get exhausted, frustrated, and your yard is still covered in snow. Here's the kicker. The common advice isn't just unhelpful, it's actively misleading. We're told to chase perfection, willpower, constant hustle. And when we fail, we blame ourselves. But the reality? Your brain isn't broken. The system is. You weren't taught how to work with life and your mind. You were taught how to grind against it. And that's why most of us end up stuck, frustrated, and overwhelmed, thinking, maybe I just can't do this. Spoiler alert, you can. You just need the lessons nobody ever taught you. Lessons about skillful thinking, managing attention, and building habits that actually stick. Here's the truth nobody tells you. It's not really about mastering a bunch of hacks or memorizing more tips. What you're actually after is control, confidence, the ability to walk into a meeting, a social situation, or even Monday morning and think, I've got this. We chase productivity, memory tricks, and self-improvement because deep down, we want the emotional payoff, less stress, more respect, fewer embarrassing moments. You want to feel competent, capable, and like your life isn't a constant game of catch-up. That's the lesson school didn't teach. It's not about knowing more. It's about having the skills to navigate life smoothly, make decisions that stick, and handle whatever curveballs come your way. And once you understand that, everything else, habits, focus, memory starts to make sense. All right, now we're getting to the heart of it. Here's the lesson nobody taught us, the one that actually changes how you handle life. Skills beat knowledge every single time. Think about it. You could memorize every fact in a textbook, ace every test, and still freeze up during a tough conversation or forget to follow through on an important task. Why? Because life isn't about knowing things. It's about doing things effectively. Skills are the tools that turn knowledge into action. Let's break it down. 1. Manage your brain. Don't fight it. Most advice treats your brain like a stubborn toddler who just needs to be forced into behaving. Just focus. You can do it. Ever tried that? Yeah, it rarely works. Instead, think of your brain like a puppy. If you guide it gently, reward it for small wins, and set up an environment where good behavior is easy, it'll cooperate happily. Notifications off, tiny tasks, scheduled breaks. These are like giving your puppy a treat every time it sits. Suddenly, focus isn't a battle. It's a game your brain wants to play. 2. Emotions are your allies. Remember being told to control your emotions or just stay calm? That's nonsense. Emotions aren't enemies. They're signals. Anxiety before a presentation? Your body is just saying, this matters. Excitement before a challenge? That's fuel. Label the emotion, understand it, and channel it into action. It's not about suppression. It's about direction. 3. Small habits, grand resolutions. Here's a secret. Massive goals are intimidating, and your brain hates intimidation. Want to start exercising? Don't commit to a 90-minute gym session. Do 1 push-up. That's it. Want to read more? 1 page a night. Micro actions build momentum. Big leaps often collapse under pressure. Tiny, consistent steps beat heroic efforts every time. 4. Memory is a creative tool. School trained us to memorize facts, but memory is more than storage. It's a tool for problem solving. Want to remember names? Create funny mental images. Need to recall tasks? Link them into a story. The weirder, the better. Your brain loves absurdity, so the weirder your memory tricks, the more effective they are. Suddenly, remembering becomes playful instead of stressful. 5. Reflection is life's debug mode. As adults, we rarely reflect. Kids do it naturally in the sandbox. Why not us? 5 minutes a day to ask, what worked? What didn't? What will I do differently next time? Reflection isn't navel-gazing. It's debugging your life. Suddenly, patterns emerge, mistakes get caught early, and decisions become sharper. 6. Work with life, not against it. The biggest trap is thinking more effort equals better results. That's like shoveling snow with a teaspoon. Instead, adapt. Break big tasks into chunks. Use your environment to nudge behavior. Leverage your natural energy cycles. Life is messy, unpredictable, and sometimes absurd, but with the right skills, you're not just surviving. You're navigating with finesse. 7. The driving analogy. Think of life like learning to drive. You can memorize every road sign, every traffic rule, but until you sit behind the wheel, steer, brake, and dodge that squirrel, you won't really know how to drive. Knowledge alone doesn't make you competent. Skills, the practical application, do. Micro habits, emotional awareness, reflection, memory techniques, those are your wheel, pedals, and steering. Knowledge is just the manual. The beauty of these principles? They're universally applicable. Whether you're trying to be more productive, learn faster, communicate better, or just survive Monday mornings without a meltdown, these skills work. And they're surprisingly simple once you understand them. It's not flashy. It's not some viral hack. It's subtle, consistent, and practical. And yet, once you start applying it, everything changes. You feel more in control, more confident, and, dare I say it, more human. Meet Sarah, mid-20s, juggling work, side projects, and a social life that's more like a suggestion than a schedule. She's read all the productivity hacks. She's tried waking up at 5 a.m., doing the weird TikTok breathing exercises, and even planning her day in a color-coded bullet journal that looked more like abstract art than a schedule. Today, though, her brain has other plans. She's staring at her inbox. Emails are piling up like a digital avalanche. Her cat just jumped on her keyboard, sending an email full of gibberish to her boss. And she's forgotten lunch again. Classic Sarah meltdown in progress. Her first instinct? Panic. Open a dozen tabs, make an impossibly long to-do list, and start multitasking like she's auditioning for an Olympic event. Within 5 minutes, she's overwhelmed, stressed, and ready to cry into her coffee. But then she remembers the principles we just talked about. She closes all unnecessary tabs. Goodbye distractions. She turns her phone on Do Not Disturb. And instead of trying to do it all, she writes one tiny task at the top of her list. Finish first paragraph of the report. One paragraph. That's it. 5 minutes later, it's done. Her brain feels rewarded. Momentum kicks in. Next, she tackles emails in small batches. No marathon, no chaos. Then a 10-minute walk outside to reset her mind. By 3 p.m., her productivity isn't just better, it's almost enjoyable. The best part? She still has coffee stains on her shirt, and the cat is now asleep on her desk. But she's handling life like a pro. Not because she's perfect, not because she followed some viral hack, but because she applied practical skills, micro-actions, environment design, emotion management, and small wins. And that's the point. Life isn't about crushing it every second. It's about using smart skills to navigate chaos, one small step at a time. Sarah isn't magically transformed. She's equipped. And equipped is way better than stressed. All right, enough theory. Let's make this practical. Here's a step-by-step guide you can start using today to navigate life smarter, not harder. 1. Start small with micro-habits. Pick one tiny action that aligns with your goal. Don't aim for perfection. One push-up, one paragraph of writing, one 5-minute stretch. Small wins build momentum. 2. Design your environment. Set up your space so the right actions are easier than the wrong ones. Phone on Do Not Disturb. Snacks out of sight. Tasks broken into tiny steps. Your environment should nudge you toward success without relying on willpower alone. 3. Label your emotions. Instead of fighting stress or anxiety, name it. That's anxiety. Recognizing it gives you choice. Fight it, use it, or step back. Suddenly, emotions become allies instead of obstacles. 4. Reflect briefly every day. Take 5 minutes to ask, what worked today? What didn't? What will I do differently tomorrow? Reflection is like a cheat code for life. It helps you spot patterns, fix mistakes, and make smarter decisions. 5. Celebrate tiny wins. Finish that one push-up, one paragraph, one task. Pat yourself on the back. Momentum is addictive, and celebrating small victories keeps you moving forward. 6. Apply skills, not just knowledge. Remember, knowledge alone doesn't create change. Use these steps consistently to build real-life skills, focus, emotional awareness, and habit mastery. Start with one step today. Add another tomorrow. Soon, these tiny habits snowball into a life that feels manageable, productive, and, dare I say, enjoyable. Here's a trick to make these lessons stick. I call it the sticky story method. Our brains love stories, humor, and absurd imagery. So instead of just remembering abstract principles, turn them into a mental movie. For example, let's say you want to remember, break tasks into tiny chunks. Imagine a giant donut. Each slice is a task. The donut is enormous, too big to eat in one bite. You can only eat one slice at a time. Delicious, manageable, and instantly memorable. That's your brain's new shortcut. Every time you see a big task, you picture the donut and take one slice at a time. You can do this with any principle, micro-habits, emotion labeling, reflection. Make the image ridiculous, funny, or exaggerated. Your brain will latch onto it instantly, and recalling the lesson becomes automatic. Bonus, you can combine multiple principles into one wacky story. Maybe the donut is being eaten by a cat who reminds you to reflect, or a tiny superhero represents your micro-habits. The sillier, the stickier. This isn't just a memory trick. It's a way to internalize skills so they're ready whenever life throws chaos your way. Fun, visual, and surprisingly effective. So what's the takeaway? School didn't teach us the skills that actually make life manageable, but that's okay. Now we know. Small habits, managing your brain, using emotions as guides, and celebrating tiny wins are the real superpowers. Start small. Reflect. Apply skills consistently. Life isn't about perfection. It's about navigating chaos with confidence and competence. And the best part? Once you start using these principles, even messy, unpredictable days become a little more manageable, a little less stressful, and maybe even a little fun. If you take one thing from this video, let it be this. Practical skills beat knowledge when life gets messy. If you found this helpful, stick around. Hit subscribe, watch the next video, and start applying these simple, powerful skills today. Life's too short to struggle blindly. Let's learn what actually works together.